Well, hello, my beautiful Scorpio. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, you'll notice I have reinstated the Gaia chimes. They're back. I miss them too much, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So, let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Scorpio, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. Now, I don't know if you noticed, the Gaia chimes, they felt somehow out of sync. You know, there was many different rhythms in that, so it can indicate that some of you have been feeling a little bit out of sync with your life or even those around you at this moment in time. You're trying to get back into the flow in some way, or you feel that somehow at odds with the world, or you just feel like something's hitting different right now and perhaps you're trying to put your finger on it, you're not sure. Maybe you feel like there's so many gear shifts that you're having to navigate right now that it's really hard to keep up. You are on top of things, but I feel it's just when you get in your stride or your rhythm, perhaps everything changes and you're just feeling like there's a lot of challenge right now, or there's a lot of different rhythms in your life to deal with, and it feels like you're on autopilot trying to just make stuff happen. So I'm not really sure what that energy is. We'll check it out. Yeah, look, your first card there is change. Transformation. And of course, this card that flew way over here is the Tower. I mean, why wouldn't it be, my beautiful Scorpio? Your reading would not be a reading without a Tower. So this can indicate a period of rebuilding after some sort of upheaval. Some of you may have been dealing with upheaval over the last couple of years. Perhaps people have shocked you. Perhaps, you know, stable kind of structures in your life feel like they are changing or crumbling. You know, when you vibe higher, because that's what a tower basically means. It means that, you know, the frequencies are changing around you. And as you vibe higher, that's when you kind of expose people or situations that are not authentic and true in your life. That's when you're shedding. You're in a period right now of decluttering, detoxifying. I mean, these are two major arcana cards. Ten of Swords, oof, you've been going through a lot. I mean, the Ten of Swords can indicate, you know, that you feel somehow let down by people, or you feel exhausted. There's a lot of stress right now. You may feel that you've had to sacrifice a part of yourself in order to focus on just getting on by or what's important to you right now there as well. I mean, we do have, how would you like to receive? The next card is the Four of Swords. You're in a period of protection is what I'm seeing. We've got the Temperance card. Wow. We've got the Three of Cups. So You know, in your near future, there is definitely celebration and integration, but a lot of you may feel isolated or alone in something, or in some way that you are in a very protective measure. I mean, I feel there's an energy here, and I have to acknowledge it because it's there. Also, I want to be mindful that outside there's a little bit of construction work going on, so I hope it doesn't impact your reading too much and it's not too loud. It's quite loud for me right now, but I want you to be aware of it. I mean, for some of you, that can be your tower. It's very noisy out there right now, and you're trying to find sanctuary and protect your inner peace with that Four of Swords. I mean, I'm a Scorpio too, so perhaps there's a message here for me as well. I can't read for myself, but, you know, sometimes when the cards show up, I'm like, yep, okay, yep, I would kind of understand that. But what I'm getting from your energy, okay, is there is this kind of period that I feel like you're outgrowing, as it were. Now, this can be that you're outgrowing, evolving away from friendships or experiences or structures in your life. But I am getting this energy like you miss the person you had to outgrow. You know, you believed in people because there's people here with that Three of Cups. It indicates, you know, that you gave them so much of yourself, that loyalty, you know, and it can be that life or people or situations took more of you and you gave more of you and you started to ask for less in return. I can feel it in your energy. Fives tend to be about lack or challenge, self-sabotage. You may have met a lot of people who are self-sabotaging in some way. There's this energy of your experiences, they didn't break you. You're stronger than those. But it may have trained you to be quieter or silenced you in some way, as it were. Perhaps how this digger outside is trying to silence me right now, for example. I might pause the reading. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I might pause the reading and come back to it if it continues to be super loud. I feel your cards are too important to kind of stop the reading and move forward and, you know, restart a little bit later on. I just feel like the impact of the energy and what the cards are showing me right now is too great. It's too monumental, whatever it is that you're going through. So I will try and move through this period because I feel this is something that you're doing. You're trying to move through this period where with that Four of Swords, you may have felt that life has tried to quieten you or drown you out in some way, or, you know, maybe even bulldoze your message, or just people are speaking over you, or it just feels with that Four of Swords that there's been this disconnect. And, you know, what I'm being given, as I mentioned, it's like this energy of like the more you gave, the more the world or the people around you have taken. And it's like you started to ask for less in return. It's like you've been somehow trained, as it were, to be quieter or silenced in some way, and you withdrew into stillness. And, you know, that Death card can indicate that you're going through a major rebirth. It can indicate that you withdrew, you know, in stillness in order to reflect, of course, to rebuild. But this energy that some of you may have over the last couple of years, this doesn't have to be now, it can be that you withdrew into some sort of survival mode, because the Tower can be that everything around you that you once knew is now different and broken, or is like revealing truths. You know, you may feel vulnerable in this period where you're driving out the old in order to embrace the new. And it just feels a little bit discombobulating in the energy. You know, I feel a lot of you, especially with the Death and the Tower, I mean, this is major. So this can indicate that, you know, you've had to learn a coping language of self-reliance, okay? And I feel a lot of you are trying to rediscover a part of yourself, if that makes sense. And I feel like you're still there. You know, underneath the armor, you're still there. And I'm just getting this energy that you didn't go away. It's like you've been protecting yourself, and it's time to rewild. It feels very much like you're learning to take up more space, because that Three of Cups is to get out there and have fun. It is to integrate and love yourself in a different way. It is to recognize that you have been protecting yourself because there's so much change about you, whether it's the people around you, whether it is the world around you. Something's hitting different, and you may feel completely like isolated with that Tower energy. And you're a Tower of Power, but I feel like you've been determined to make sure that you protect a part of yourself. It's like you're so drained and exhausted, especially with that Ten of Swords. Some of you may feel betrayed by people, or you may feel that there's an end, or a cycle has come to an end, and the only thing that you can do right now is to navigate these changes and acknowledge that it's time to rebuild. It's time to set yourself free from the parameters of this period that has perhaps made you feel a little bit silent. You know, I feel right now that this is your strength. This is you kind of like determined not to lose yourself in all of this change. Okay, a lot of you may have felt a little bit exhausted for sure, but also, I mean, you know, that noise has now gone away. Hopefully it doesn't come back, but it can be symbolic. You know, everything that happens in a reading is often symbolic, all the energy that comes out. So it can be that you're pushing through the noise of life in order to discover the authentic you. It's always there, you know, but it's more about revealing it, of who you are and being proud of who you are. I definitely see here with this Death card as your starting position that everything has changed. You've changed as well. There's something within you that, you know, you may have been soul searching or questioning how you navigate this brand new world, or, you know, your circumstances. I mean, it can be the world around you, people, because you do have that Three of Cups, as I mentioned there, but it could also be that, you know, you are evolving, you are maturing, you're seeing through stuff. This is to break free from some sort of constraint and see things as they truly are. You know, epiphanies, realizations, sudden bolts from the blue of like how you feel about people. And it's like you're seeing things that maybe others are not seeing. And it's like you are making sure you withdraw or ending cycles of pain or sadness, or anyone who disrespects you. Because right now in the water, I'm being given two words. Okay, disrespect, disconnect. So this can indicate a major period of disconnecting from people or situations that do not value you, that disrespect you in some way, cause you drama or pain, or people that you feel like you cannot trust, people who are not in the inner circle. Now, a lot of you with that Nine of Pentacles as your outcome energy, this is your quest for independence. It feels like you are rebuilding life in some way, and the outcome is, you know, you having a glow up. It is you kind of like rediscovering your sparkle, that playful sprite within you, to shine your light once more. But, you know, this is the core card for you. Change, rebirth. This is about you creating space for better. So, you know, on a practical level, because I feel a lot of you have gone through a major awakening with these two cards, it's like it was thrust upon you. And that could have been something that humanity all went through over the last couple of years. It can be that you feel like you've been on autopilot, that everything seems to have changed, that it feels like the world is somehow heavy with hurt, and that you feel it in your soul, and the world is somehow upside down. You know, it is human to feel, but a lot of you may have felt, and you have actually a lot of depth and emotion to you, but you may have felt with that Ten of Swords that you had to protect those feelings. You know, show up regardless of how you feel. Be strong. Tens tend to mean that you're a very strong person, but it can also indicate that you've been on autopilot or disassociated with these cards because it was just a lot. So you had to focus on the smaller steps in life, or you had to focus on protecting your inner peace from the noise outside, is what I'm being given. So I feel this is your moment to rise from the ashes, that phoenix. You refuse to be diluted in your energy or your speech. You know, this is you being that wild one again. This is you tearing down the chains. Especially with that Tower, this is about you protecting your sovereignty and embracing this transformation. And it draws you back to self, to your independence. I feel there has been this heaviness to conquer with these cards, but conquer you will, because you're setting yourself free. with these cards. The Tower is to liberate, but some of you may feel that you're in the middle of this change. The construct, something that has rooted you to the spot, something that could have shocked you, because the Tower, of course, is a shock. It can be a personal shock. It can be that things have changed around you. It can be that you're actually physically going through something practical right now, that your body has changed in some way and you're trying to manage that, or perhaps, you know, your outer circumstances have changed in some way and you're trying to rebuild. But I feel, you know, at first you may have felt it came at a cost. Okay, because I mean, the Death card is a Scorpio card. So this is you kind of like protecting yourself. You may have withdrawn, you know, there may have been fear, anxiety, you trying to navigate something new, but you are coping with this. And I feel that for some of you, of course, with the Ten of Swords, you may have noticed your body coping with like high cortisol levels, stress levels, lots of, you know, energy losses or dips there. Okay, and all of this was your suit of armor that you've been wearing to protect yourself. But, you know, I'm being given this energy with that Nine of Pentacles as your outcome, that it's safe to take that off now, you know, and in doing so, you actually rebirth that playfulness within you. You know, this is a financial glow up, stability. It is you focusing on your projects. You know, this indicates that you are self-reliant. You are someone who's reliable. You show up. You're showing up for yourself every single day, but you may be noticing when people didn't show up for you. You know, you may have been noticing, of course, that your happiness is not tied up in another, but at the same time, it feels very much like you've given too much. And the Tower is to protect at times, and the Ten of Swords is to sever ties or end something abruptly, or feel like you've been let down by something or somebody. And it's like you've sacrificed a lot of yourself and now you're letting go. It can be that you've been in analysis paralysis, always preempting the next change, you know, what's coming next, or protecting yourself should there be another radical change in your life, for example. These are major cards. That's why I could not quit this reading and restart because of the noise, because it's too important. So I feel you need to be aware that you are on a trajectory to open up to more fun. If you feel like your friendships have evolved and you're searching for your soul tribe, because the Tower can be a very isolated card. It can mean that, you know, you have been in a solitary energy or felt misunderstood or alone for some time. But now I feel like you're breaking free from this energy and you will find your soul tribe, or you will align with people who understand you, who see you, you know. But also, I feel a lot of you with that Nine of Pentacles, it can indicate that there is a time to be that lone wolf, to go off and do your own thing and enjoy yourself and be independent and have your alone time. But also, you must remember to integrate, you know, that keep your pack members close, if that makes sense. I mean, it's interesting because something very similar in that energy, only in the keep the pack members close, came out in a Taurian reading, okay? Now, I'm only mentioning it because it is opposing your sign. Taurus opposes your sign. So there could be this midway crossing point where both signs are going through something a little bit similar, but not the same. Definitely not the same. But I feel there's this energy of you looking at who you can trust in your life and how people have changed and how some people may have surprised you with their actions. Because the Three of Cups, as I said, is community. It can be family members. It can be soul tribe members. With that Ten of Swords, as your crossing position, it can indicate you're under a lot of pressure right now and things have been challenging. But a lot of you are trying to eradicate things that cause you pain or sadness. You know, I feel a lot of you are detoxifying your body, mind, and soul right now, decluttering your life, trying to lead with passion. You know, there's an energy here of you kind of almost asking yourself, where have you been? You know, it's like you're calling yourself home, or you're calling yourself back to yourself, to a person who lives a passionate life with fireworks in your soul. That never went away. You just needed to process some things to take care of like the serious side of life, the duties, the responsibilities, and You may have chosen to isolate yourself, to protect yourself from the unfairness of life or people. I feel you're in a period of simplifying your life in some way. And, I feel it's, this energy of disconnection. And actually, some of you may be like, how can I put that? It's like you may be in awe of yourself somehow, how easy it is for you to disconnect when you feel someone has, overstepped a mark. It's like a hot potato. You're like, nope, you've learned to witness red flags. But I feel this energy, it's like you've been disconnected from people or situations right now because, you're being separated from the noise on purpose. So you can hear your heart, so you can hear your higher self. And it can be lonely when you go through, a period of evolution or spiritual awakening, because this is a wake-up call in your life in some way. And this is to align you with your sense of purpose, but also to realign you with your sense of self. And when we go through major awakenings, it's not actually this aha moment where we suddenly know the meaning of life, or we understand, everything that's going on, and it's joyful. It's actually very painful. It's sorting through the mud of life. It is going through the stuff, really facing things head on, being so honest with yourself that you're calling yourself out on things. And that's really hard. It's like breaking down what you thought you once knew. It's like seeing the familiar and smashing it and embracing the unfamiliar, taking that leap of faith. I mean, the Tower can indicate that a lot of you, there's been a lot of tension recently, perhaps frustration with people or situations, because you feel things are hitting different. It feels somehow not the same, and you're trying to put your finger on what it could be. But I feel like you're going to come back into that rhythm of life there. I mean, I feel like you're building back better than ever before if you've been going through some challenging times. Now, of course, for some of you, I really feel it's like this old life is being left behind, as it were. It feels like you're shedding self in order to be the phoenix so that you can rise up again. The Ten of Swords is like everything is different, or it feels like you're responding differently to challenging situations or people. And I feel like you're allowing the change to occur because that's where you find your balance and your sense of purpose. I mean, for some of you, not all of you, but some of you may have gone through a bereavement, and I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. There are literally no words. When you've got a Ten of Swords, it's like there is nothing you can say. It's like words fail you in this moment to describe how you feel. So it can be that you're in one moment in shock. In another moment, you're numb and not feeling, disassociated from the pain, but also acknowledging the grief in moments. It can be that you feel somehow bereft and not knowing how you can move forward. And it is this period of stillness. Everything's changed. Life has changed. It's how you deal with your everyday circumstances, and it will be a process. Allow the ebb and flow. I feel a lot of you, this bereavement could bring people together, but also it can highlight people's hidden side. So you may also be withdrawing from that drama or that stuff right now. I feel it's important to recognize that if you're going through a period of grief, that someone has transitioned, especially since you have the Ten of Swords, which is, a very abrupt ending, and the Death card can literally be that. And that's not going to resonate with all of you. I want you to be aware these positions in this spread are something you're going through right now, not something to come. You tip over when you get to the potential position, which is a Temperance, which is balance, harmony, but also it is about blending the worlds. It is the alchemy of life. So if you're searching for a sign from a person, ask for the specific sign and you shall have it. In fact, I'm being given an energy that they always walk by your side. They are ever present, okay? And I feel with the potential there, the sun, of course, is the light. It can indicate a joyful soul who was perhaps complex in life, but now is at peace and will send you a sign That's what I'm being given. I mean, butterflies are a sign. My guys are literally pointing to the T, my t-shirt. So that will be a sign. I'm not seeing anything in the water right now. Okay, there's some coins coming through. So you could find unusual coins or coins that are relevant in unusual places. I mean, you could suddenly find something on the sidewalk. I'm also being given an energy of the sidewalk being important. Like there could be a message or heart. It looks like a sticker or something, a heart on the sidewalk or on the ground. So you may see an image of a heart. There's so much unconditional love there. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to disconnect from that energy, but that's what I'm seeing. And I can, okay, there's a hand there as well. So you may see a hand on the sidewalk. I mean, an imprint of a hand. It's not, I want you to be very clear, it's not like the star in Hollywood with the handprints. It's not that. It feels like a hand that is of protection. So it's not that you're going to see a ham's a hand, because what I'm seeing is like an image of a hand. It's just the outline of a hand on the sidewalk, but also heart. So these could be images that you'll see. It doesn't have to be on the sidewalk, but that's what I'm seeing. It could be that you'll see a piece of art that has a hand, an outline of a hand and a heart. This could be symbolic to let you know that this person is supporting you, guiding you with lots of love. So as I mentioned, with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy, okay? And I understand that this is a period of rebuilding, but in moments of stillness, you will get the messages and the connection. You will feel this person's presence, okay? And whenever there's gatherings as well, this person is always present. Okay, so I'm going to remove myself from that energy. I mean, the Ten of Swords is the earthly plane position. So a lot of you have been going through pressure. You've got a lot on your mind, a lot on your to-do list, and, you know, things can only get better from here when you get a Ten of Swords. It means there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and then the rest of your reading is going to the sun. So all of this pressure, you know, it will lead to more independence. So, you know, you can use this energy as something practical in your life. You could be going through a major upheaval, like moving to a new neighborhood. And it can be that all your life is in boxes and it's challenging and you're like, everything's up in the air. You feel a little bit lost. You're having to run your life, but at the same time, your whole life is like moving, and it can feel like a lot of pressure and stress, right? But when you settle, when you get to this position, when you find more balance in that, that's when things start to align. You feel a little bit more at home. For some of you, you may have just moved to a new neighborhood and you feel a little bit isolated. You're away from friends. You will make new friends, but also it gives you this sense of independence. You may have, you know, gone through some changes in your career, for example, and feel a little bit like out of your depth, but you're rebuilding stronger than ever before. You're going to be financially independent because of these changes. It may feel like you don't know what lies ahead, but I can see that what lies ahead is actually very exciting. Okay, hope returns here in your situation. So that was a very deep part of your reading there. I mean, in the past, we've got the Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords indicates, you know, healing, stillness. As you start to eradicate drama, or people's BS, for example, life starts to get very quiet, okay? And quiet does not mean boring or dull. It can be that suddenly you're focusing on alternative things. You know, the Four of Swords, if you are in a period of healing with all of this reconstruction going on in your life, you know, a period of rebuilding is empowering you. You know, it is about creating stronger foundations. And in order to do this, we must demolish everything that once was and anything that is not stable or true or is already crumbling in our lives. You know, but people do not heal in order to, you know, be strong enough to accept more pain, sadness, or suffering. We actually heal in order to create space for joy, for fun, because often people who've gone through trauma or challenge, which is definitely a Ten of Swords there, you know, they preempt more of the same. They feel like that's life. So they're conditioned to feel like it's just going to be that way. And I feel like you've learned a certain coping mechanism that you're trying to break free from because you want to set yourself free. You want to open up to the playful side. I feel like you're leaving the familiar to embrace the extraordinary in your life. And the Four of Swords demanded that you kind of like sat with self to find clarity, to really understand what it is you want to accept in your life and what you don't want to accept in your life. But also in a Four of Swords, there is an acknowledgement that sometimes the universe comes along to break down all that was not right for you, to put you on the right path or to keep you on the right path. Because this is your sense of purpose. This is blending all your energies to find harmony, to be in sync with your life, back in the flow, as it were, and connect to the things that are important for you. You know, when you get the Temperance card, and especially since it's connected to the Four of Swords is to think. It is to have greater understanding. It is a time to take care of yourself, to have a break, you know, to rest, to recuperate. But in that thought process, suddenly you see the path. And I'm being given a very interesting song right now, okay? It's actually a French song, okay? I mean, I'm not sure if this is famous or not. I mean, it seems familiar to me somehow, so maybe I've heard this somewhere. Maybe it's come out in a reading. I can't really remember right now. Perhaps you will remember it if I give you what I'm hearing right now. So one moment, please. Okay, I'm very much trying to translate what I'm hearing because what I'm hearing is a song in French, okay? But in the water, I'm being given the English words so that I can understand. So feel at the heart of night, the wave of hope, ardor of life, path of glory. Okay, that's what I'm being given, okay, but the song is French. Okay, okay, I'm being given what the song is called, not who it's by. I'm just being given this. I'm probably going to say this French really wrong because I'm being given the title, but it's in French. Okay, so Voici ton chemin. Okay, I'm going to leave that there because I'm probably butchering that beautiful language there. So, but I feel that's like, look to your path. The Temperance card is about your path. It's your sense of purpose. So, I mean, the sentence, the ardor of life, can be like, life is hard. It's work. And you are working hard to make life work for you. So whatever challenge you feel like you're moving through right now, I feel like you're about to have that breakthrough because you have the brighter future. You know, this is about you, because I feel this song is actually about hardship or struggle. And you may hear this song, you may not. I mean, it's so random. I love it when it's random song because that means you're not going to hear it like on the radio every day. So there's more chance of it being really special to you when you do hear it. So it may come up in your playlist. It may suddenly, you know, be on a radio or something, you know, so listen out for that song because I feel it's important. But I feel it's about the hardship or the struggle that you've been going through, and it's led you to this breakthrough moment where you're about to take flight to elevate and succeed for that brighter future. And the Temperance card is about finding the way. I mean, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, this is the potential position, by the way, okay? And, you know, the Temperance card in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot basically is about, you know, a figure who is, and it's an angel, you know, blending the energies. It's like being flexible. You're going through a period of spiritual evaluation and you are learning to shine again. You know, you're trying things out. Nothing is ever wasted. This is about you being back in the flow. And a lot of you, this could also be psychological healing because of that 10 of Swords. If you've had people who've been mean to you, who've, you know, really tried to tear you down. It can be that you're trying to process this and understand why people can be so cruel or so mean or why things are so challenging. You could be really going through the stuff, you know, right from the very beginning. The foundation of you, where people tried to tear you down because they saw your light, they saw your brilliance, and they didn't want you to outshine them. They were jealous, or they felt you were going to be more successful than them. People rarely bully or try to tear people down who are below them. They feel threatened by your presence or your power. So you may have witnessed that, and I feel you may be right now at the crux of changing your life, and you feel that suddenly everything tries to come in your way to get in the way of that, but still you proceed, still you move forward, and still you will succeed. You know, this card, as I was mentioning, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figure is actually dipping one toe into the water and has one foot on the land. So this can be that you're trialing things out or trying things out, or you're trying to rebirth. And, you know, in the background, there is a mountain, but there is a clear path right to the sun. So I feel the path is being made clear for you to create space for better things to come. And you are at a period of evaluation right now where you're working out what comes with you on this path, who comes with you on this path, and who gets left behind. Who does not deserve a place at your success table? With the Three of Cups, this is in your near future. There is something to celebrate. This is also an energy where everything is coming together. This is, you know, an energy of being back in the rhythm, the dance of life. It is a relief card. It indicates that you're building something and you would be someone who shares everything that you've got with the people you really care about, the people who are in your inner circle. But as I mentioned earlier, you know, I feel like you are tempering how you give right now or what you offer, because you feel that you may have lost a part of yourself or felt like you were drifting in the amount of stuff that you're giving all the time. And it just feels like you had to shut that down with that Ten of Swords, because you seem to be asking for less and less and less in life. And then you feel drained that you're just giving more and more and more. And it's like, enough. So I feel the Three of Cups is about replenishing, especially when it comes to the Four of Swords, you feeling a need to, you know, withdraw into self or protect. You know, Four of Swords can be also closure, a line in the sand, spending time in solitude to reflect on the things that you've gone through that have been challenging, but you're opening yourself up to happiness, to joy. You know, it feels very much like you will find your soul tribe or integrate with people or come together. You know, there is an energy here that some of you may also have friends, perhaps, who see your withdrawal as very mysterious sometimes, because I'm looking at this figure and it's like part of her is hidden. So it feels like if you are going through like a change in your friendships, or you feel someone has betrayed you, because the Ten of Swords can be that you feel betrayed in some way by something or somebody. It can be that you're keeping vigilant, you're watching somebody, you're staying silent about it. It's almost like if you've caught someone out doing something, but you feel very much like it's the end of your friendship, you may be witnessing them tell you what they think you need to hear, but you know the truth. It's like you're just going to let them talk and talk and talk until you suddenly just fade out of their life, leaving them wondering why. But they know why. And they're going to kick themselves because they're going to realize that you perhaps knew all along and they thought you didn't. So I feel there's this energy of just, you know, quietly leaving something, but also this desire to take up more space, to be you, to be louder, to rewild, to empower yourself once more and find your way back to yourself and to that inner spark. And that's something that I feel you will find in this Three of Cups, because when you apply this Three of Cups to self, this can be to romance your life again, to fall back in love with life, to, you know, develop deeper relationships with people. But also it can be you celebrating yourself, realizing that you are a gift. You give so much of yourself to people. You are so protective of people. You care deeply. You know, you don't have ulterior motives. Looking at the energy there, but you may be misunderstood in life in some way, sometimes. Now, your advice to yourself in this moment with the Empress energy is to nurture yourself in a different way, to protect yourself, to have that glow up, to birth new ideas, to basically get out into nature more, to find that inner peace, that happiness that comes from within self. But also, this is a card to acknowledge that, you know, you are lovable, and that it's a period as you mature, you start to realize that you should love yourself more, that sometimes you can be your own worst critic. that inner critic. Maybe some of you are, taking charge of those inner thoughts. And rather than tear yourself down, because the Tower can be in this crossing position, to tear oneself down or to build oneself back up. And I feel a lot of you are trying to rebuild at this time, looking at the energy. But also the Empress with that Tower, it can be that you feel like you got stuck in a rut. Same old thing, just a different day, and you want to break free. You want to be more creative. You want to, enjoy the finer things, or you want to have some sort of creative pursuit to express yourself, to let those emotions flow, especially if they've been backed up in some way. The Empress energy is all about kindness. You're still leading with unconditional love and kindness for people, but you're just tempering the way that you give of yourself. I feel a lot of you are not going to step down to cruelty. If someone's been cruel to you, I don't feel like you're being cruel back. I feel that in this evolution of you, the unevolved Scorpio will lash out with revenge. And I feel a lot of you, there has been this energy of thinking about revenge sometimes, but as you evolve, I feel like you're above that. You're taking the moral high ground. There is an energy of like real growth here. It's like when you're tired of everyone's BS, including your own, that's when change happens. And that's why you've got that Death card energy. And you realize that holding on to anger or sadness is actually hurting you and not the other person. So you're setting yourself free with that Tower energy. We don't forgive the past or a person to just let them off the hook. We do it to lighten our own karmic load so it is not heavy, so we can move forward. I'm also being given this energy here that, you've been in a world of pressure where everybody wants more of you. Society feels like it has lost its soul somehow, and you are retaining your soul. I feel like you want to be more connected to nature, to your soul tribe, or to people that are close to you. I feel the ever-changing world is moving the goalposts, and you're trying to be flexible. You're a great adapter, and you're transforming. You're finding a way. But this Empress energy indicates you're having a glow up, okay? And for some of you, this can be that you are a parent, and the Empress energy, it can indicate that, you are noticing your children evolve and grow, and you're guiding them the best way you know how. And you know that at some point there's going to be independence, and, it's the empty nest syndrome. So some of you could be grieving a cycle of life right now. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there. I definitely see here that you're guiding the next generation who are going to make a huge impact on the world and, the neighborhood. And, whatever they pull their attention to, I feel like they make a difference because the Temperance card is there. But also, I feel some of you, there is this major message at the core of your reading. Love hurts. Everything we care about, it creates a hurt. So, for example, if you care about a passion project or you care about your career, you put yourself under a lot of pressure because you care so much. You want to achieve. When you fall in love in a relationship, sometimes, of course, it is surrendering a part of yourself to trust that the person is going to be careful with your heart. And that can come at a cost of pain. It can be hurtful sometimes when we get to know a person and they are going through something. We want to care, we want to help, we want to nurture. Love can hurt. When you care so much, because the Empress card cares so much about the environment that she finds herself in, the things that she is nurturing and growing, whether it's relationships, children, projects, whatever it is, eventually it will cause some level of pressure or distress at some point. Even when you're in a relationship with your spouse, there's going to be moments where there's arguments. The Tower can be like building shattering kind of arguments where people slam doors and people are trying to express themselves and they cannot articulate themselves and how they truly feel. So it can be that people wound with their words. Ten of Swords is like words, thoughts. that wound. So it can be that sometimes we hurt people intentionally or unintentionally, especially if we are going through changes or feel not secure in our environment. We can feel frustrated. So I feel a lot of you are learning a very deep lesson about how the beauty of love, for example, changes over time and can lead to little sadnesses. As I mentioned, loving your children and then watching them grow into a beautiful adult and then becoming so independent and living their life, it feels like there is a shift. There is a lament. You still have to let them go off and lead their life, but at the same time, there is that little sadness that, oh, my dynamic with them has now changed. But there's still love, there's still care, devotion. So it can be that you're just witnessing life is change. And that when you care so much, it's like sometimes, and I'm not sure if I agree with this, but it's coming through, sometimes the hardship of loving so deeply is that it can be all-consuming and sometimes painful. So, I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And sometimes we can feel like we care so much about something that we don't ever want to let it go. But Death card is present, which means, especially with the Tower, the ever-present energy in life is change. Seasons change, people change, circumstances change. We have to navigate that change. That is a lesson of life. But the Sun is these circumstances outside of yourself. This is a very philosophical reading, very deep. But circumstances outside of yourself is to, embrace the light, to embrace joy, to embrace the moment, be present. And I feel a lot of you are reconnecting to that inner spark, that passion. A lot of you are also thinking more about yourself in a really positive way. Not in a egotistical way, but the Sun is about ego. It can be about your sense of self, your identity. So you don't want to lose yourself in all of these changes. I feel like you're actually coming home to self. You're reigniting that spark. This card is all about success. It's about passion. It's about discovering your energy being at optimum levels. So even if you have been managing some sort of changes within your body, it can be that you will get back to best once more. I mean, with the Tower and the Sun, if you're going through the menopause because there is a mature woman on that card, it can be that sometimes you have intense hot flushes that you're trying to manage. And it can be that sometimes you feel completely broken down and tired, but almost like you don't recognize yourself anymore. You've dissolved your sense of self at this change. And it can be that, yes, there's going to be challenges with that Five of Wands, but the Sun energy can indicate that you will move through this period and you will find happiness and rediscover yourself and get back to some sort of resemblance of self in these changes. The Sun is a positive card. It is the most positive card in the deck. So to start with all this challenge with the Death card, the Tower, and the Ten of Swords, which means something big has ended in your life. Something monumental has shifted and changed within you. The Sun says embrace it because the path is leading you to happiness, to success, to joy. So whatever it is that has been hard to navigate right now, on the other side is the breakthrough of all that you desire. The Sun is a very optimistic card. It indicates beauty, passion, rawness, the truth, the light, freedom, driving out the old. Now, the Five of Wands is in the hope and a fear position. The Five of Wands can be that you fear it will always be a challenge, because the Five of Wands can indicate, conflict, or, arguments. So if you have been dealing with arguments with people or you've been confronting lots of obstacles right now, it can feel never ending, but it's in the prime position to read the reverse. You read both sides in this position, in this spread, and that can indicate that there is harmony, there is success, there are problems solved, relationships are harmonized, that there is an end to conflict, and that, of course, is your hope. Also, your hope is that, it doesn't always have to be a struggle, that, if you've been feeling a little bit like people are interfering in your life in some way, or there's always challenge, or it always feels like you're nearly there at accomplishing something, the Five of Wands says, you know, it'll all come together. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's 5 people on that Five of Wands, and they all have a wand, and they're all trying to create a star. And they're nearly there. You know, there's one kind of final piece to be put into that star. The star can be healing. It can also be pentacles. It can be money. So if you've been struggling financially, it can indicate that it has been a struggle, but there is hope there. You will remove a money block. There is going to be a period where everything kind of comes together as it should. There is stability. Your outcome is the Nine of Pentacles, retaining a sense of independence in these changes. But also, this is a card that indicates you'll have a glow up. You are self-reliant. You were just built that way. And perhaps you were built that way because the world shaped you that way, or your experiences of the world shaped you that way. But I feel this is empowering. I feel this is you reminding you of who you are. And if people have tried to ever tear you down or be cruel to you, it's because you're beautiful, both inside and out. It's because you're strong. Because, you know, if you have a very strong poker face when someone is saying something mean to you, that person feels like, oh, that didn't even touch them. It didn't even hurt them. They're trying to push your buttons. This can be rivals, this card. It can be someone who looks at you as a rival or wants to create drama in your life. And you're like, nope, not affecting me, even though it may affect you. It could be that you are putting on that poker face. And, you know, when you go home, that's when you really feel the emotions and you feel completely betrayed or saddened by these experiences. And you'll notice that people like ramp up. When they feel like they are not hurting you, they will decide to make it even more painful because they want a reaction. When you've got a Five of Wands, that is someone who wants drama or they want a reaction. And I feel like you're rising above it. You're like, nope, this doesn't touch me. I mean, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, and I'm only mentioning this deck because I love this deck. It's so beautiful, but it doesn't quite give you the message of the card. The Nine of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot has a figure in a garden standing there and protecting 6 pentacles and giving away 3. So it's like, I'm going to reinvest in myself. I'm going to give some of myself out. I'm going to give some of my energy, but not all. I'm not losing myself in this. I feel this is about you creating comfort in your life that isn't dull and boring. I feel that you are at a period where isolating yourself is protecting you, but also it's rewarding, it's enriching. So you're not just isolating in order to just, you know, sit with self. You're also doing projects, advancing yourself in some way, reinvesting your time and your energy into things that bring you joy. Also, the Nine of Pentacles is about financial independence. So if you feel that things have been pretty stressful recently regarding finances, I feel that actually you're going to be more financially free. Take down debt, for example. Find a way to pool your resources and save more, because this is you like saving a part of yourself or saving financially for your future. I would also say that some of you are under a lot of pressure right now in order to work really hard and, you know, work towards retirement, because the Death card can be the end of a cycle type energy. And it can be that you're doing everything now to set yourself up to be financially free in your retirement or in your future. Some of you may also be trying to, you know, remove yourself from a construct, be financially independent or be your own boss so that you can buy back time to spend with family and friends. Because that's what, you know, the whole construct is about. To find a way to be financially free enough to give you more time to be in the present with people you care about or do the things that you love, to discover more about you rather than just working all the time. So some of you, these may be thoughts that are floating around at this moment in time. Okay, that was a very deep reading. I'm being given this energy, of course, that tough people, you know, with the Ten of Swords, they tend to show up in tens. When you get a 10 of any suit, it means you're a tough person. You've been dealing with a lot. You know, you're at capacity. And tough times don't last. Tough people do. So I want you to be aware of that. I mean, that Ten of Swords can indicate that you are a high-functioning achiever. And you've been through some traumatic times. You've launched yourself into projects. You tend to push yourself harder. But now you may be a little bit more careful with yourself, or more complimentary with yourself, more understanding. Okay. My guides want me to give you one more. This just popped over there. Can I get that? Yes. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So we've got be careful who and what you surround yourself with. And I definitely feel a lot of you, as I mentioned, canceling out the noise. And basically evolving from friendships, or evolving from drama, or people who try to push your buttons. I feel like that's something you're already on a path to doing. You know, protect your ideas as well if you're trying to create something right now, because the Empress can be a creative force. In the Tarot, of course, it's like you birthing new ideas, protecting these ideas. Five of Wands can be a challenge, or people just changing because you're being more successful, for example. You know, they start to feel like you're outgrowing them, but you want to grow with them. But it can be that then they see you as a rival because they want what you've got, or they want what you're achieving right now. And it doesn't mean they're not going to. It just means that they feel that they're out of alignment or out of sync with you in this moment. And they may be shifting in the dynamics. And you're having to kind of like just move through this period and understand that you're evolving at this time away from this person or these situations. It says here, if all you're doing is waiting for the really big moments, you won't value and appreciate the small ones. That is a very important message. This is about stillness. It's about being present and acknowledging that the small moments with people are so important, because they are really the bigger moments, you know. Time spent with people you care about, it's invaluable. Okay, we're lucky enough to have that moment with that person. So I feel a lot of you are aware of that in itself. Don't worry about what could go wrong. If something does go wrong, you'll be able to make the best out of it. So if you're trying to do something new, because there's a lot of new energy here, with an ending comes a beginning. There's no such thing as something like finite, like over. It feels like you're transitioning or changing or maybe exploring a new way. Don't worry about what could go wrong. Just go for it, because I feel it's going to go right. I feel it's going to be very successful. Don't let fear keep you rooted to the spot. Remember, many of the clouds casting shadows aren't real. Very important. I mean, the Ten of Swords is not a fear card, but it can be that, you know, you worry about things. But this is a card that highlights the word fear itself. Fear, when you break it down, is false evidence appearing real. The constructs that we build. I feel a lot of you are smashing through glass ceilings in your life right now and really looking at the truth of a situation and recognizing that there's like only one thing to do when you're trying to reach for something more. Go for it. Because, you know, you can either sit with self and regret not going for it, or you can just go for it. And I feel there's no regrets here. I feel like you're just going for something, and it is going to be successful. Let go. I mean, really let go. There's something better on the horizon. I mean, you are letting go for sure of something, and there is definitely something better on the horizon. The Sun, the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. These are cards of joy, happiness, fulfillment, and celebration. And we've also got, you're pushing yourself to exhaustion. Enjoy yourself in between all of your hard work. Remember that sentence? It really like lit up for me, which was the ardor of life, I think it was. Ardor of life. Ardor is work, right? Ardor. Yeah, I think ardor is work, effort, toil, you know, and labor. So it can be that, yes, you're working hard on something that is your sense of purpose, but don't forget to enjoy yourself. Life cannot just be one note. And as I mentioned earlier, the Gaia chimes seem to be just out of sync, or somehow like playing lots of different tunes. You know, normally the Gaia chimes will do something that is repetitive at some point when people are a little bit more in the flow of something. And it just feels like you're trying to get back in the flow of something, or you feel like you've had to adjust to many different rhythms in order to make life work right now. But you're going to get back into the rhythm there and rediscover more about yourself. Or should I say, rather, rediscover yourself? Because I feel a lot of you are searching for more independence, but also coming home to self. So we have, okay. I mean, you didn't get any love cards, okay? So this is more about loving oneself, but also relationships. But we do have a seahorse there. Now, of course, the seahorse, it is symbolic of soulmates. Soulmates don't have to be romantic, so this can be you looking at people who have an affinity with you. But also the nature of the seahorse is to do things differently against the rule of nature. Doesn't mean it's like not nature. It just means there is a typical rule that is followed in nature. For example, the feminine of most species actually give birth to children, to the little species that they are, okay? But the seahorse, the masculine of the seahorse empire, shall we say, they carry the eggs to term. So this can be that you're trying to do something that is different, that is not the norm, that you may feel sometimes is misunderstood in your family or your soul tribe, or, you know, you're doing something that is not typical to rule, as it were. And that's okay. I feel that's important to recognize that that's your path. You are not like born to fit in, as it were. You were born to stand out. And that's why there has to be something different about you. And that's why you've got that Tower and that Death card, because you do stand out just naturally. And that is going to attract a lot of people who want you to either fit into their little box of expectation, and you're not about it. Also, we have the key. Okay, now the key is all about your destiny. It's about unlocking your destiny, having a breakthrough, and focusing on your path. The answers you seek will come to you in the time, but also we have the fleur-de-lis on this key. So I feel the time to lead is upon you. Take action on something, and the doors are just going to open. The portal of change is there. But also, we have two hearts entwined. So this can be about you sharing your heart, but in reciprocity with others, you know, deepening relationships with people, or even following your heart, and the things that you want will connect to you. But you must get back into the rhythm of your life and prioritize your own needs. I mean, if you are searching for love, because a lot of you, the Ten of Swords can be a separation. If you're going through a separation or a relationship ended, you know, I feel this is about you enjoying your independence. Easier said than done, I know, but there will be a time where you will attract your soulmate. You will attract love. You will attract the person who holds the key to your heart. And if you've walked through life independent as a solitary energy, you were meant to walk that path because you have a higher purpose, of course. And when the moment is right, you will meet the person that you are meant to fall in love with. Because, I mean, these three trinkets, the two hearts entwined, the seahorse, and the key, there is someone out there who holds the key to your heart, and vice versa. And you will love, and you will be loved. You are lovable. You attract a lot of attention, but it's going to be a very special person that captures your heart, because you're someone who is capable of living life on your terms, and you're very independent. So you need someone who is strong enough to walk by your side, and you are going to attract that person, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. That was a very deep reading, so, you know, it may not resonate with a lot of people, but I have to honor what came out there and work with the energy that happened in the reading as well. So I hope it does connect in some shape or form to someone out there. But I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Scorpio, and love and light.